today on Sunday, and I am still bringing on board our guests and our speakers. I can see Mercy, I can see Willis, I can see Dennis. Dennis has told me that he's just landed in Moscow, and he's waiting to settle down so that he can join us. But I have sent you Willis, Mercy. I'm waiting for you to join. We are 6 minutes late. And today we are going to have a big discussion on the debt burden, the burden of debt. Why are we paying debt that doesn't belong to us? Why are we paying for money that someone took and pocketed? So we are going to have this very uncomfortable discussion. And I want to mention that this platform does not promote any political agenda, because we believe politicians and the political class are the reason why we are in this problem. So this platform does not promote any politician and does not promote any political agenda. This is a platform for citizens to come together and discuss and prosecute their problems and identify solution and take action. For example, we want to identify and see, are we able to prosecute all those politicians who have pocketed our money? So we are here today, and as we wait for these others to join in, I just want to give the mic to one or two, three people, my co-hosts. Two of them, I've sent them a link. Let me see who is ready to talk. Let me see. All right. Thank you very much for joining. It's not easy to, to run such a big space, and I really appreciate for your patience. And all right. All right. All right. Right. Like I can start with Joe. Joe Balash, welcome. How are you? What do you want to tell us? Hello. Hello. Joe Baliach, please speak. You have the mic so that someone else can join in. Don't get the mic and then you mute it.
Thank you so much, Senior, for the mic. Thank you so much for hosting us this evening. Pretty much looking forward to the conversation on the public debt, largely to hear the insights on the odious debt that has been made public recently. Also, just to chime in on the ongoings, I'd say we need to keep the spirit really, really high and don't let our guard down at any point. This is us facing real-time challenges that need real-time solutions. So thanks so much for the mic, Amerix. Back to you.
All right. Thank you very much, Joe Baliach. Where are you calling us from? Are you a Kenyan?
Yes. I'm a Kenyan. Currently in Nairobi.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. Let's meet on Tuesday.
Tuesday it is.
Willis, welcome. You can kickstart the discussion.
Thank you very much, Amerix, for inviting us and hosting this forum again. The main important thing that we hope to achieve out of this is that the Kenyan people need to understand why they are being overtaxed and where their money is going to. And it's important that you've raised it, that debt that is being paid, because 80% of our tax revenue, what the Kenyan people are paying, what government is collecting from them, is being used to pay a debt. It is imperative for us to achieve accountability if that money, they know what debt they are paying for. Because as Jimmy will explain to us, over the last almost 10 years, we've paid over 5.4 trillion shillings as debt. And yet, in our debt books, we are being told we have 11 trillion Kenya shillings as debt. Why are you paying for this debt? It never goes down. It keeps going up. And we need to understand, was this debt taken for a particular project? Show us this project that is worth 11 trillion. What did it finance? And where was it in our budget? Did the Kenyan people in their parliament, in the Appropriation Act, identify a project which was financed? Because when you take a debt, you throw it in a project, that money must circulate in the economy. And the economy, when the money circulates, should be able to mop up and earn money out of that debt. The debt should be able to pay for itself once the money has circulated in our economy. Those are questions that Kenyans need to ask. William Ruto, in the last 2 years, 18 months, so to speak, has taken almost 1.8 trillion shillings in debt. Uhuru Kenyatta took over 6 trillion shillings in debt. We must ask, where was this debt anchored in our Appropriations Act? Where was public participation for this debt? And in the same period, you've paid 5.4 trillion shillings as debt. How comes then the debt is still 11 trillion? And did this money come into Kenya? Was it used for the benefit of the people of Kenya? What was our budget deficit, so to speak? That you can say, this was the balance, this was the deficit that we had to go into the market to raise. Because if your deficit in 10 years was only 1.3 trillion, then explain to us, why did you take a debt of up to almost 8 trillion? What were you borrowing for? You took loans of up to 6 trillion shillings when the budget deficit was only 1.3 trillion. And did this money land into Kenya? Because when we explain this concept, you'll notice that some of the money was taken and the money didn't even land in our consolidated fund. The money went into other private accounts, other people's accounts, accounts that are not in the CFS. The controller of budget cannot explain. In fact, if you ask her, she will say she cannot trace those payments that were made, even the receipt of the debt. All she can show you is that money left our CFS to pay for that debt. But she cannot show you money coming from the lender into our CFS account. The issue of domestic debt, our banks locally here issue treasury bills, every government issues, and they go and take it up. Your own money, your deposits, because banks don't have their own money. It is your deposits they rely on. These banks have been buying bonds and bills every day. That bond and bill that they're floating and they're taking at exorbitant interest rates of almost 17%. Which project is it funding? Because according to our laws, project debt should only go into a project fund. But I will not speak much on it because today we have Jimmy Wanjigi, who has been very vocal on this issue. Maybe you can give him the mic to explain further on this concept. And let me just say this. We come into this space as citizens who are concerned about the country. We are not coming into this space as politicians who are trying to campaign. And we are open to be asked any questions, to be interrogated. The information we share can be used by anybody, even in UDA, any Kenyan. Because what the Kenyan people are seeking is what will work for all Kenyans. Make Kenya work for all Kenyans. If the information comes from UDA, it will help. If the information comes from an ordinary citizen, it will help. The ultimate goal is to make sure that Kenya works for all Kenyans. Last time I'd said, let us not allow politicians to occupy and own this space. This is a citizen space that is meant to hold everybody accountable and to allow Kenyan people to understand and know the details of how their government is working and how their money is being utilized. If Jimmy can be allowed to speak, I think Amerix can allow him, or he can speak from because I'm with him. He can speak from my.
Yeah, he
The
can speak from your end,
there.
because I'm trying to
Let me give him the mic.
these
He can
are the
speak
people,
from my end.
but I can't see them.
Okay, let